Hi, good noon to all of you. Can we flash the first slides, please? Yes, bigyan po Okay. Good noon to everyone. So we're going to now to officially start our Pabalat 2.0, a BTS themed online workshop. Let's read first our data privacy. Okay, this is a data privacy notice. You can just read this silently. Next slide, please. Let's have our reminders and house rules. This activity will be recorded by SMS English. Type your full name when joining in. Okay, I've seen that you have your full names there for the students. Keep your microphone and video off to facilitate a smooth and distraction-free program flow. Okay, so again, ladies and gentlemen, great morning. In fact, it's already noontime or afternoon. We are thrilled to welcome you to our workshop, Pabalat 2.0, of BTS-themed online workshop. I am Miss Melody Alamre, and joining me today are the dynamic faculty of communication and literature area, and our expert guests who have a wealth of experience in the arts. And it's fantastic to see so many of us gathered here virtually for this exciting event. Before we dive into the heart of the workshop, let's quickly run through some essential details. Today, we embark on a journey into the world of art, culture, and ideas. Pabalat 2.0 promises to be a memorable experience, delving into the features, theories, and histories behind various art forms. And what makes it even more special is our theme, BTS, a global phenomenon that has not only taken the music industry by storm, but has also become a cultural icon. So buckle up for an engaging exploration into the diverse realms of art inspired by BTS. The workshop will run from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., giving us a solid 2 hours to immerse ourselves in the rich tapestry of art. Let's see now our learning outcomes. Through this workshop, we aim to achieve two main learning outcomes. First, to identify and discuss the different features, theories, and histories behind various art forms, spanning a wide array of disciplines and perspectives. Second, present ways by which culture and ideas are represented by art, and understand how these ideas embedded in culture can transform over generations. Okay, first things first, I hope you all had a smooth online registration process. If you haven't yet registered, take a look at the chat box. There's the link there for your attendance and registration. Please click that link. Make sure you click the link for your attendance and registration. And those also who are live joining us, if you cannot join here anymore in our Zoom meeting, you can join live in YouTube. Okay, live streaming. The registration will also be posted there, so you can click the link over there as well. Okay, how many has clicked the registration link? Thumbs up so that we can see. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for your thumbs up. Very good. We know now that you have registered. So now let's center ourselves as we begin with a moment of reflection. Please join us in prayer, followed by the Philippine National Anthem and the Binild hymn.
If I'm not the light, I can be the spark in faith, service, and communion. Let us start to change. We want to see the change that begins in me. Today I start the change I want to see. Sa langit bumaba, may ilagang puyat, awit sa panayang minamahal. Ang isang ng watawat ko'y kabuhay na nagdinagin. Ang bituin ng harang niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng harang dalwan, aking pagsitan ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya naman ay makapit ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Raise your voices, sing your praises, hail saints beneath. Pride and honor we proclaim to thee, O saints beneath. A teacher of the Christian youth, a prudent man of God, inspire us in a life of prayer as we learn in truth and love. Raise your voices, sing your praises, hail saints beneath. Pride and honor we proclaim to thee, O saints beneath. Proclaim to thee, O saints beneath. Proclaim to thee, O saints beneath. Proclaim to thee, O saints beneath.
Now, to officially kick off our workshop, we are happy to have someone with us who has been instrumental in bringing this event to life. We are happy to have someone. She is the School of Multidisciplinary Studies, Communication and Literature Area OIC, Miss Elimay de los Santos. Let's welcome her with a virtual round of applause. Area OIC, Miss Elimay de los Santos. Let's welcome her with a virtual round
Good
of applause.
afternoon, everyone. I am honored to be given a chance to welcome you to this worthwhile event. I would like to congratulate the ARTAPRI team for this meaningful event. As Pablo Picasso said, art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. So, as Pabalat 2.0 presents ways by which culture and ideas are represented by art, it will also refresh us and give us an opportunity to take a short break from academic routine. Hopefully, the ideas that you will learn today will be embedded in one special corner of our culture and will later on be passed to the future generations. To our speakers, thank you and congratulations in advance. Thank you, Art Apri team. And to our dear audience, I hope you all enjoy this activity that your teachers have prepared especially for you. Again, welcome to Pabalat 2.0, a BTS-themed workshop. Thank you, everybody. To Pabalat 2.0.
Thank you for your opening remarks, Ms. De Los Santos. Now, to introduce our esteemed guest speakers, let me call a co-faculty in Communication and Literature area, Mr. Jefferson Akala. Let me call a co-faculty in Communication and Literature area, Mr. Jefferson Akala. Let me call a co-faculty in Communication and Literature area, Mr. Jefferson Akala. Let me call a co-faculty in Communication and Literature area, Mr. Jefferson Akala. Let me call a co-faculty in Communication and Literature.
Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to present to you our speakers for today. Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to present to you our speakers for today. Cha Salido, a highly skilled and creative individual, earned her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Interior Design from the University of Santo Tomas in 1998. Her artistic fervor transcends her professional career, ignited by a profound love for both the arts and music. In the midst of the 2021 pandemic peak, Cha found solace in painting, a therapeutic refuge aiding her in dealing with anxiety and depression. Her artwork evolved into a medium for emotional expression, a tool for processing life's challenges, and a source of purpose. Charmaine's artistic process is distinctive as she experiences synesthesia, a blending of senses uniting sound, color, and emotion. Motivated by BTS and their music, her creations transform their songs and lyrics into a vibrant symphony of shapes and colors on canvas. A notable achievement was her participation in the fourth BTS Global Interdisciplinary Conference at the University of Malaya in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on August 16 to 17. There, Charmaine and yours truly, headed by Professor Ana Bautista, presented BTS ACHE or ACHE Initiative, The Act of Becoming, BTS and Heritage, showcasing their unique perspective and talents in this creative realm. Our second speaker, Ana Bautista, is a licensed interior designer, licensed professional teacher, museum exhibition designer, trainer facilitator, museum and cultural worker, paper artist, and advocate of heritage and environmental education and preservation. Ana is a member of the following local and international organizations: the Council of Interior Design Educators, the Philippine Institute of Interior Designers, and the International Society of BTS Scholars. She is a Pakukuwa accreditor and a United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Keeping the Promise campaign signatory. Her interior design, museology, and heritage background led her to various appointments and positions. Among these are a member of the technical working group tasked to do the initial review on the implementing rules and regulations of RA 10557 or the Philippine Design Competitiveness Act of 2013, Assistant Director of USD Center for Conservation of Cultural Properties in the Tropics, Assistant Director of USD Museum, Culture and Arts Consultant of San Fernando City, Pampanga LGU, and Committee Secretary of the National Committee on Architecture and Allied Arts, National Commission on Culture and the Arts. As an ACA Army, she has organized, curated, facilitated, presented, and participated in various BTS-related activities on pedagogy, research, meta-learning, and culture-based advocacies. Her notable BTS engagements were the successful UST Ghost Nam Juning, Capturing Moments on Campus, interactive exhibition held last September to October 2022 at the UST Museum, where she was the curator. The executive chairperson of the BYSQ Global Insight Forum Korea, where Bae Yang-suk also interviewed Ana on tradition and humanity, Philippine Army, and has presented 3 papers during the BTS Global Interdisciplinary Conference held in Seoul, South Korea in 2022 and Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia this 2023. Ana obtained her bachelor's degree in interior design and master's degree in cultural heritage at the University of Santo Tomas. She passed the 1990 Special Licensure Examination in Interior Design and placed 4th among the top 10 and the 2018 Board Licensure Examination for Professional Teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, our speakers for the day, Ms. Charmaine Salido and Associate Professor Ana Bautista.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon, Ms. Cha.
Good afternoon. I'll share my screen. Thank you. Can everyone see what's on my screen? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes po, we can see your
Yes, we can
screen.
po.
Thank you. Just hold on. Okay, I'll start. So this is what I presented in August in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, when me, Professor Jeff, and Professor Anna went to Malaysia and discussed this ACHE project in the fourth BTS Global Interdisciplinary Conference. So my title is When Canvas Speaks, a tale of rediscovery and healing. So what is synesthesia? Synesthesia is not widely known. It is a rare phenomenon. It is not a disorder or disability. And it only occurs on about 2% to 4% of the population. It is not a disorder or disability, rather it's an extra ability. A person with synesthesia has a perception phenomenon where two or more of their senses are connected, resulting in them seeing and feeling things differently. So synesthesia is more apparent in women than men, and to date, over 60 types of synesthesia have been identified. They may identify by hearing colors or seeing sounds or taste a physical touch. Sounds weird? Sounds weird to you as of the moment, right? So these are the common types of synesthesia. So first one is the grapheme color. It is associating colors or letters, numbers, or words with specific colors. Spatial sequence, when you are seeing numerical sequences as points in space. Number form, this is associating numbers with specific spatial locations or patterns. And I think this is quite common, the lexical gustatory synesthesia, which is experiencing tastes when hearing or thinking of words. But I will discuss more of what I have, what type of synesthesia I have, which is the chromesthesia, which is seeing colors in response to sounds and music or music. So what is chromesthesia? So have you ever thought to yourself, this song reminds me of a Purple Velvet. I wish this sounded more pink. Or what does yellow sound like? Maybe you tell your friends only to be met with blank stares. I usually get that. Nobody knows what you're talking about. The discovery of my chromesthesia was a revelation that shed light on the unique way my brain processes information. It helped me understand why I had always perceived the world in such a vivid and multisensory manner. But rather than feeling strange or different, I embrace my synesthesia as a gift, a remarkable way of experiencing the world that enriches my daily life. So how did I discover this? How did I discover my chromesthesia? So in my personal experience, I've discovered that I have chromesthesia during the pandemic in 2021. The isolation and introspection brought about by the global health crisis allowed me to delve deeper into my own mind and explore aspects of my perception that I had never fully understood before. So as I engage in activities such as listening to music, reading, or simply going about my daily life, I began to notice consistent and involuntary sensory associations that seemed to go beyond the norm. However, my realization of synesthesia wasn't the only significant realization that emerged during this time. The pandemic and the challenges it brought also acted as catalysts for self-reflection. As I navigated through the uncertainties, corporate burnout, anxiety, and a midlife crisis, I found myself questioning the path I had been on and reevaluating my priorities. So these circumstances led me to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. I began to explore my passions and interests outside of the corporate world, seeking fulfillment and meaning beyond the confines of traditional success. My experience with synesthesia and the accompanying process of self-reflection have been transformative. They have allowed me to embrace my unique perception of the world, find solace in creative outlets that fuel my soul, and prioritize my well-being and happiness above societal expectations. I now view synesthesia as an integral part of who I am, an extraordinary lens through which I experience life. So, how did I discover BTS and finding solace and inspiration through their music? So, destiny intertwined my path with BTS. So, who are BTS fans here? Raise your hands, say yes. Nice, nice. Okay. So, the destiny intertwined my path with BTS, igniting a connection that defied borders and cultures. A chance encounter with a captivating music video of Boy with Love marked the beginning. So that was around 2021 that I've discovered them. Each member's charisma and voices, after 2020, and voices etched an indelible mark. As I delved into their music, emotions surged. Their songs wove emotions echoing my own. Lyrics touched my core, crossing language barriers. They seemed to understand the depths of my soul and articulating feelings I couldn't. Amid life's whirlwind, BTS music stands as a constant companion, anchoring me through stress, anxiety, and tough times. Their stirring melodies and empowering messages are a beacon in darkness, touching hearts worldwide. And as a devoted fan, their impact on my mental well-being is truly remarkable. When the world felt when the world's weight felt too heavy, BTS's music became my escape. Melodies embraced me, comforting amidst turmoil. Fire ignited my spirit. Spring days mirrored my heartache. Each song became a lifeline, pulling me back from the brink and reassuring me that I was not alone in my struggles. BTS's lyrics reach deep within, expressing the inexpressible. Answer love myself, urge self-acceptance, run bulletproof, empowered to face adversities and challenges that may come. And Magic Shop reminded me of inner strength, even in the darkest moment. BTS's openness about their own struggles, challenges, and dreams, as well as their focus on mental well-being and self-acceptance, has resonated not only with me, but countless individuals. It's a testament to their authenticity and the genuine way they connect with their audience. So back in the day, when I was young, I'm still young at heart. I always had this creative spark within me. I found joy in drawing, scribbling, and just letting my imaginations run wild. It carried me through high school and into college, where my fascination with design and art grew. After completing my degree, I ventured into the world of event planning, wedding coordination, and makeup artistry. I utilized my eye for aesthetics and attention to details to create memorable experiences for my clients. But then the reality of making a living took over when I entered the workforce, and my beloved art took a backseat. So fast forward, painting as a form of self-expression. So fast forward through over 20 years in the BPO industry, and then the pandemic hit. It was during this unexpected pause that I began to feel a void within me. I realized there were things I yearned to explore but had put off for far too long. Seeking guidance for my anxiety and depression, I consulted a psychiatrist who suggested I channel my creativity through journaling or painting. I chose the latter, and it was like rediscovering a piece of myself. Painting became my sanctuary of self-expression and healing. I could feel the passion I had been missing flood back into my life. So during this time, a dear friend of mine, who is a true OG Army, had a brilliant idea. So why not use BTS songs as inspiration for your paintings? So she proposed that. And just like that, the spark was ignited again. My first BTS, so this is Persona, this is my first ever BTS artwork, marked a turning point. So BTS songs spoke to me and they became a part of my artistic path. My paintings became my canvas of understanding and love for my gift, infusing each piece with uniqueness and meaning. So BTS songs became my wellspring of motivation and strength in my artistic journey. So through their music, I forged a deeper bond with them, and my emotions stirred by their songs found expression in my art. Each of my creations is an interpretation of their lyrics, filtered through the lens of my chromesthesia, creating a bridge between their melodies and my visual art. So I'll be showing you some of my artworks. Beside the artwork is the lyrics. That's the inspiration of the artwork itself or the painting, but it's already translated in English. So this is one of my early artworks done in August 2021. So this is Epiphany by Jin. So there you go. It's an acrylic. I use mostly I use acrylic on canvas. So there you go. Then the second, this is Whalian 52. So in the middle of the vast ocean, one whale speaks softly and lonely. So this is about a whale that can only hear certain hertz that beneath the ocean. And then nobody can hear him except for so he finds solace in making sure that what he feels or what that whale wants to transcend is being sent out, because nobody can hear him, so the sadness is inside him. So that's the story of Whalian 52. 0 o'clock means resetting, so it's like the two hands of the clock. So when it goes to 12 o'clock, it's a reset. So you're given another chance or opportunity to make the next day better. That is 12 o'clock, 0 o'clock. And then this is Truth Untold. And then Equal Sign by J Hope. And then this is what I presented in Malaysia, the Take Two, which is their recent song from their most recent album, August 2023, that I did this. So this is what I brought in Malaysia. So I'll show you how I made this and give you a sneak peek.
I'm running the days. We've been working so many ways. 가슴이 터질 것 같아. Can't you see the take two stories unfolding just for you? 너와 함께.
So short. All right. So whenever I begin a piece, I need to listen to the song first. So I determine the colors I want to use. And interestingly, there are songs I'm not particularly fond of. But their colors resonate with me. For instance, pop songs might evoke pink and purple, even if the song isn't my favorite. It's a balance between the two aspects, and I find some appreciation in either the song or its visual essence. So creating art is about being in the right mindset. If you're not in the right vibe, your work might not turn out well. It's crucial to align your mood with your creative process to produce something meaningful and authentic. So these are some of my finished and sold artworks from the past 3 years. So BTS advocacy for love, and acceptance has been a transformative force, deeply impacting my self-esteem and creativity. Their messages of embracing one true self have served as a guiding light, encouraging me to be more confident, self-assured, and unapologetically authentic. Through them, I rediscovered joy and purpose through artistic expression, and their influence opened doors of opportunity to showcase my craft and share my synesthetic gift with the world. The pandemic might have cast a shadow, but it's within this darkness that I reignited my passion, leading me to my healing and purpose. Today, I take pride in having sold more than 100 art pieces and participated in 3 art exhibits for the past 2 years. My love for art and BTS also fulfilled my dream of showcasing my work at my cherished alma mater, the University of Santo Tomas, last March, all thanks to the support of my professor, Miss Ana Bautista. So let me show you a snippet of what happened on that exhibit. As an avid fan of BTS, I am in awe of their talent and creative minds. Their music has been a constant source of inspiration for me, especially during the pandemic. Through my journey, I also discovered that I have synesthesia, a condition where my senses are blended, resulting in a connection between sounds, colors, and emotions. This has been a unique aspect of my art, and it has helped me to express myself in a way that I never thought possible. Okay, so I'll close this with a quote. So if you can figure out your purpose, figure out your passion, or your passion will lead you right into your purpose. So if you find yourself unsure about your purpose, focus on what lights up your heart, dedicate time to exploring and nurturing your passions. And as you do, you may uncover hidden talents, unique insights, and even unexpected paths that eventually unveil your greater purpose. Remember, it's through following your passion that you often find the key to unlocking your purposeful journey. So thank you very much for listening. You can follow me in my IG, use underscore by chat. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much, Ms. Charmaine.
Thank you.
May we ask the next speaker to present?
Okay, can you hear me? Is my audio clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Here po.
Hi, Cha.
He's my professor.
Okay. Again, Cha, no, that triggered my emotions again with your story. Okay. I see Jeff. Okay, so sorry, Jeff is here. Okay, so it's my turn now. Thank you, Miss Cha.
You.
Okay, so before I share my screen, let me just again have a quick survey. How many of you are familiar with Pabalat? Can I just show, can you give me a purple heart? Wala? Okay, there are a few. Okay, so before I start, well, this is my home office. So if you notice, I have some Pabalat exhibition here. I set this up for today's today's session, and this is the setting for Pabalat. And if you notice, I have my paintings there and on the floor. Those are two commissioned works that I asked from Cha to interpret Suga's D-Day album, Suga of BTS, and RM's Indigo album. So those are the backdrop for today's workshop. Okay, so let me now share my screen. Can you see my screen? Yes? Okay. So to start off, Pabalat is a vanishing art form in the Philippines. Okay. And thank you to Sir Jeff for initiating again this workshop, because Pabalat is something that is close to my heart. I have embraced Pabalat since I learned the craft in 2007. So I've been doing Pabalat since then, and it never stopped. No, so yearly I give advocacy workshops on Pabalat. So let me now start with the discussion on Pabalat. So Pabalat or Borlas de Pastillas is a form of paper cutting art form from the province of Bulacan, specifically in Malolos and San Miguel, Bulacan. Pabalat is the covering, the outer covering of pastillas, the sweet delicacy made out of Carabao's milk and sugar. And it's considered to be an indigenous knowledge. And indigenous knowledge is focused or settled in a particular community. And in this case, it's Malolos. I'm focusing on the Pabalat design of Malolos. And this is orally transmitted. And it is also transmitted through observation, what they see, no, they follow. And because of that, it also leads to trial and error until you hit the correct pattern, the correct combination. And, oops, sorry. It is considered an intangible cultural heritage. Now, this is the framework that I use. No, it's the UNESCO framework on intangible cultural heritage. Intangible cultural heritage is the harder part of heritage that's harder to preserve or to protect, because it's at the moment, it's fleeting, it's temporary. Once it's done, it cannot be repeated. Or if it's repeated, it's not the same anymore. And intangible means it's abstract. It cannot be held, but more on being felt and seen or heard, like music, chanting, dancing, the skills behind the artworks. No, those are the intangible heritage. And UNESCO released recently the 5 domains of intangible cultural heritage, and Pabalat falls under three domains: social practices, because it involves the art of the paper art. It involves pastillas as a food heritage, and then festive events, because Pabalat is only used for special occasions, and in the modern application for special events like weddings, giveaways, tokens for special events. And the last and the most critical is the skills to produce these traditional crafts. And Pabalat is a vanishing craft because there are only a few Pabalat artists, no, in Bulacan. And I'm not from Bulacan, but I consider myself as a Pabalat or a paper artist. Now, these are just samples of Pabalat that I've done. So the one you see on the right is what I have here, no, in my background. And the one on the left, yung nakasetting ng the plate, was the Pabalat was the BTS inspired Pabalat design that I did for the Love Myself project last March. And let me introduce to you to Nanay Luz Ocampo, who initiated my interest in Pabalat. I trained under her in 2007. We visited her place in Malolos, Bulacan, and we trained for 1 day. And I am left-handed, and Nanay Luz is left-handed too. So I was able to get her techniques. And, hindi siya maramot. She told all the secrets in the Pabalat art. And I was able to absorb that. And after discovering now that Pabalat is something beyond art, it's therapeutic, in fact. I started to working on my own personal designs, and I made it a point that I would want to pass this on to my students, and that started now my link to Nanay Luz, because after that we saw each other almost yearly until her death in 2016. And through the years, this Borlas de Pastillas, which was originally an indigenous local art, became a popular art. And when you talk of popular art or pop culture, there is that negative connotation on pop culture. Not everyone would like to embrace pop culture as, something deep, especially in research. And this is something I would want to go to. This is the direction that I'm going to. I would like to emphasize that pop culture has a deeper story. And pop culture is at the moment. So if we, if we analyze now the UNESCO cultural heritage framework, it's intangible. If we do not record pop culture now, what happens in the future? And if we take pop culture for granted now, how can we now protect it for the future generations? So I'm focusing now on pop culture as part of my research interest. That's why BTS also is part now of my research. And let me show you the works or the obra or the masterpieces of Nanay Luz. These are her works. This is a sampler of her works. She has over 75 designs. And the yellow one is the Mangbabayo, Magbabayo. The blue one, the second one is Maria Clara. The third one is Bahay Kubo. The fourth one is Ibong Adarna. And then the other one, the fifth one is Kalachuchi, and the sixth one is Sampagita. If you take a closer look at her designs, it's about Philippine culture. It's the way of life, in the Philippines. Or Philippine symbols like the flowers, the Kalachuchi, the Sampagita, the Ibong Adarna, the tails. And then, of course, architecture, landscape, coconut, andyan, di ba? And dances, rituals, mambabayo, everyday life. So it reflects the Filipino life during the early times. And most of Nanay Luz's designs are geared on Philippine culture. Now, this is the Malolos design of Nanay Luz. In San Miguel, Bulacan naman, they have another type of Pabalat art. If you see, there is a distinct difference between the Nanay Luz version and the San Miguel Bulacan version. This is for the Bulacan Sweets, the seller of pastillas in Bulacan. And if you take a look at the patterns, or at the inspirations, it's more on the genre. It's more on the generic part. There's fish. There's a fish. Sorry, mermaid. There's the parol, and then the butterfly. So it's more on the general side of the Philippine culture. But in effect, if you take a look at the Malolos and the San Miguel versions of Pabalat, it's very Filipino. It speaks of Filipino culture. And this is the culture that you would want to protect, not just the art form, but the design process itself, because it speaks of the culture then, of the lifestyle, of the way of life and beliefs of the earlier Filipinos. And now what led me to this BTS-inspired Pabalat? This is what I would want to anchor on the traditional melding the contemporary. Because we cannot do something contemporary if we do not understand the past. We cannot move on to the next without knowing where we came from. So I would like to marry tradition and contemporary in Pabalat art form. And for this year, the compelling reason was the theme of the National Heritage Month, which was May. And the theme really is fit for Pabalat, heritage, change, and continuity. Pagpapatuloy at pagbabago, because this theme emphasizes the dynamic nature of heritage. And being a cultural heritage studies graduate myself and a cultural worker, I saw that it is important that we again reintroduce traditional form into contemporary settings or approaches or applications in order for the youth to have a better grasp of what we already have. Because these are our treasures. But the thing is, the youth now tend to not see or understand or perhaps been exposed to these art forms. So it's also good that as educators, we reintroduce these vanishing art forms. And to protect this now, we have to put in new challenges. We have to put in creativity and innovations to make it relevant to the times. Because part of this is that as academic institutions, it is also our role to ensure that cultural education, heritage education are clear with our students. And art appreciation is one good way or vehicle to ensure that this heritage is being protected. There are a lot of ways to do that. There is what we call the heritage management that we can do. But again, in terms of Pabalat, since it's an art form, people might be turned off. Hindi man ako magaling mag-drawing, hindi man ako artsy, I'm not an art person. So how can I even help promote or protect or preserve Pabalat? Now I'm telling you, I've been doing this since 2007. If you do not know how to draw or design, you will learn it. Because skills is learned. It can be taught. No. I've done this before. I've had workshops with students without background in drawing, and they were able to produce designs, the patterns that they can use for their Pabalat. So it's something that is learned. And this is the good thing in education. We have, as educators, as teachers, our role is to ensure that the students know about this and to a certain extent, help them learn the craft. And this is another reason why protecting this traditional art is also important, because UNESCO established the intangible cultural heritage. And the tagline is safeguarding our living heritage. Pabalat is not yet dead. It's just that only a few are doing Pabalat design. There are only a few Pabalat artists in the Philippines. And that's why this is critical at this point, because if there are no new Pabalat artists, then what would happen now to this traditional art form? Mawawala na siya. Or kung hindi naman siya mawala, the popularity or the significance will be lessened. And this led me now to applying BTS as a contemporary approach to Pabalat, because we know the popularity of BTS. No, it's something that is not contestable. But for 2023, I decided to incorporate BTS patterns, BTS designs to Pabalat, to meld the traditional and contemporary, because there was this clamor to conduct Pabalat sessions in cafes. And when you do it in cafes, the market is usually the workforce or the youth. And what better way now to introduce BTS as a theme for this Pabalat artwork? That's why in March 2023, in partnership now with Archive Cafe in Makati, it's a BTS-inspired cafe in Makati. And to celebrate March as Suga of BTS birth month. And it was also the International Happiness Day. I think it was March 20. And the Love Myself campaign of BTS, which ran for 5 years from 2017. It should end this year, 2023, but I think they already renegotiated for it to continue on, no, in spite of their military enlistment. So we did this Archive Cafe Pabalat workshop with BTS theme, and I created a design specifically for this event, a BTS design patterns, no, for this event. And then in May 12, 2023, during the National Heritage Month of May, I conducted another BTS Pabalat workshop for UST Fine Arts students using the same patterns that I did for the Archive Cafe. And just recently, in November 5, another Army group in the Philippines requested me to conduct a Pabalat workshop, again, a BTS-inspired Pabalat workshop, to celebrate now the Hive Insight James Jean exhibition, which is currently ongoing now, as part of the Hive Insight Traveling Exhibition. It's the 7 Faces by James Jean, and that became my inspiration for the designs for the workshop now at Persaros Cafe in Ortigas. And these are some of the patterns that I did for the March run for the Archive Cafe. Our inspiration is the Love Myself, UNICEF Love Myself campaign with BTS to end violence. It's something that is close to my heart because the Love Myself campaign of UNICEF, even before BTS, no, I was already working on this, on the Love Myself campaign. And adding BTS to the equation made it better because the role or the goal of UNICEF to end violence is important, especially in the academe, bullying, discrimination, and all that stuff. No? So I use this framework to create these patterns. These are my personal and original designs, so which I designed exclusively for this workshop. And the LM there on the first pattern is the Love Myself. And of course, to be symbolic, the year was added there. So this is the generic patterns that I designed. But for the specific ones for each member, I did the patterns based on their personalities and attributes. So the first one is the fan chant. So if you're a BTS army, you know the fan chant. You just recite their names, and then at the end, it's BTS. So that's the fan chant. Those are their names: Namjoon, Seokjin, Yoongi, Hosok, Jimin, Taeyong, Jungkook. And for each individual member, RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, their personalities or personal attributes are reflected there. So for RM, it's the book, that's nature and art, bicycle, and of course, no, their names have to be there. And if you notice that their names, RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook or JK, those are their handwriting. No. For Jin, of course, the Jin Ramen. He's the mukbang king of BTS, and his album The Astronaut. For Suga, there's piano and guitar, no, because he's the most musically inclined among the group. And then for J-Hope, that's his album Jack in the Box, that's the Joker. And being the sunshine of the group, that's the sunflower associated with him. And for Jimin, ayan, he's known, his emoji is the chick. Tapos he did a dance using the fan. Ang ganda nung sayaw, no? He's the dancer of the group. And on the left side, I hope you can see it clearly. Those are the moon faces, the faces of the moon, which is tattooed on his back. And for V, who popularized the finger heart and the Barahe tagline of BTS. So we have the finger heart, and Tata is his plushie. And V, that's the signature in the heart, no, because he started that Barahe. And then for JK or Jungkook, that's the video, the camcorder, no, because he's good in videography. You know, he has the Golden Closet films. And that's also his plushie, Cookie, and he's into boxing. Oh, that's why there are boxing gloves. So these were the designs for the archive cafe workshop and for the UST workshop. And these are the cut patterns, no, in Japanese paper. And if you notice, well, for the BTS Army here, from RM to Jungkook, the last 7 colors of Japanese paper, these are the colors of the microphone. So I had to look for the colors to represent the microphones. And the hardest to do is Suga because it's black. And for the James Jean inspiration, for at the Persaros Cafe, it's more complex this time because the attendees, the participants were all army. So they're familiar now with BTS. And when I did the patterns for this, if you notice, there's the 7 pattern on the upper right. Those are the 7 tattoos, because BTS have a 7 tattoo etched on them in various parts of their bodies, and different rendition, different fonts used for the 7. So those are the fonts of the 7 of their tattoo. And then I wanted to highlight the solo projects of each one of them. So there is no BTS in general. So it's all specific projects. So for RM, there's the book, again, the book that's associated with RM. He's a bibliophile. And then the chair with that square thing, that's in this cover album cover, indigo. And the lowest design, the bottom, is the James Jean interpretation of each of them. So for RM, it's the moon child. And then for Jean, it's Narcissus. If you notice, there's the astronaut, and A, that's the logo of his album. For Suga, it's Mutide because he's associated with cat. So I just emphasized the piano and the lyricism with that fluid lines. For J-Hope, Solaria, so being the sunshine of the group, again, there is that flower, and the J-Hope font used in his cover, in the cover of his album. And for Jimin, again, the font used in the Jimin, or the design of the JM or Jimin, is the face logo. That's also his album. And if you notice, beside the 7, there's the 2 fluid lines to symbolize his dancing fluidity. And violin for V, there's saxophone because V played the saxophone before joining BTS. And the heart, of course, is associated with the Purple Heart. And for Jungkook, it's Cottontail. It's a rabbit. And you can see there the profile of Jungkook for his 7 album. And then there's the 3D, his track, and the J logo of his album. And the last one is the Gidung, which is parang the totem of BTS in their BT21 line. This is their plushie line. So yan sila, para siyang naka-totem pole. From RM is RJ, Koya, Jin is RJ, Suga is Chuki, J-Hope is Mang, Jimin is Jimmy, V is Tata, and Jungkook is Cookie. So those are the Gidong. So these are the designs that I did for the Persaros Cafe. And these are the wrap liners because I'm a wrap line person. These are the cutouts, but I had to revise a few of the designs because I had to simplify some. But again, the blue, red, orange, and yellow Japanese papers are the final versions that I did. Because sometimes I change the design while I'm cutting it. Since I'm already well versed with Pabalat, I know how to deviate from the original pattern. And this is how we do the Pabalat. We start always with the pattern. When we do the pattern, it's actually 10 inches high, and we allot 3 inches for for the pastillas, and the remaining 7 inches will be for the pattern. That's the standard. But if you want to put another delicacy, not pastillas, you either, uh, change the 3 inches, no? Either pwede ka mag 4 inches or 5 inches or smaller. If it's just, the bola, no? Candy, pwede mas maliit dyan. What is important is that you have to leave a space for the pattern. And if you need a longer tail, then use another sheet of Japanese paper. Now you can use 1/2 sheet of Japanese paper. And there are only 4 techniques: fold, trace, cut, and wrap. Sometimes you don't reach the wrapping portion. Hanggang cutting tayo, and then we already preserve it. But again, because Pabalat is a disposable art, that's why it's intangible heritage. And it's part of the food art. It's a throwaway art. Okay? Because even if you preserve it, over time, Japanese paper will fade. The colors of the Japanese paper is not permanent. It will fade. Mamumuti yan over time. So that's the challenge on how to preserve it. That's why the pattern is important, because the pattern now will tell us the direction of the Pabalat design. That's why we keep the original pattern. And because Nanay Luz's patterns are all patented, I cannot use her designs, even if she gave me some of her designs. No, that's why I design my own and I give it for free, because I cannot patent it anyway. I was informed by IPO that it's not cannot be patented because of Nanay Luz's. So I do my own, no, out of respect from the patterns of Nanay Luz. I don't use her patterns. No, I make my own, but I cannot register it. So every workshop that I do, I give away my patterns. That's how I want it spread. It's up to the participants now. If you want to make money out of it, I don't care. My point is, I just want to share the patterns. And that's one way also to ensure that Pabalat art will not die. At least not with me. Naipasa ko siya. And this is the way we wrap the Pabalat. There are 2 ways. Either the twisting part or the pushing style. And on the right side, that's the RM pattern that I did for the Archive Cafe. And I did the push wrapping. So that's how it came out. Now, let me just show you the process now of Pabalat. This was one of the works of our student, PhD student. She was a food tech graduate. Well, she's a graduate now. And she did the wine because they have a restaurant. So sabi niya, okay, I'll do a wine inspired Pabalat. So this is what she did. That's her personal pattern. And then you trace it, you cut it, and then you wrap it. So that's the whole process. And we're now nearing the end, so we can start with the workshop. Let me just share with you, because again, my leanings is cultural heritage. Shuga mentioned in one of the interviews that culture has the power to change people, which is true, because culture is something that is embedded in us. Culture is a soft power. It has a big role in changing us, in changing our mindset, in changing our worldview, in changing ourselves, our personal selves. And in Korea, in South Korea, pop culture is their soft power. They use it as part of their soft power. That's why they were able to penetrate the global market. And BTS is part of the pop culture. And if we now put that in context and align it now on the framework of what heritage is all about, when we combine art and music, it can be a stronger culture. Because the love for art is there, the love for music is there, and at the end, culture is preserved. Because you now have ways on applying both art and music in something that is concrete, like Pabalat, the artwork, the output itself. And at the same time, inspired by something that is born out of their passion, as Tra mentioned earlier. find your passion, find your purpose. It's the same thing. And as art appreciation students, it is also imperative that we understand art and culture as a soft power, because this is also a way for us not just to limit ourselves to the appreciation of art, more than that, preservation. Because once we understand, once we are passionate about things, then we can preserve it. And that's way beyond appreciation. It's now into the preservation. And preservation means continuity of the legacy. And remember that what we do today is the heritage of tomorrow. It's up to you now if you want to kill that heritage today, that art form today. So the future generations won't know about it. But remember that, as artists or as Filipinos in general, everything that we do today will be reflected, will be known by the younger generations in the future. So everything that we do, it's the heritage of tomorrow. Because sometimes people tend to confuse the term heritage as something past, something in reference to the past. Oh, totoo yun. That's true, no? But there's also such a thing as modern heritage, that at the moment, what we do today will be the heritage of tomorrow. If we do not mind what is happening today, then what can the future generations know? So that's the essence now of why traditional and contemporary art forms like Pabalat can be used as a venue, as a vehicle to protect our culture, to preserve our culture. And in that way, we become, Filipinos at heart. So with that, I'm ending now my sharing so that we can proceed with the workshop. How do we go about this, Sir Jeff? Sir Jeff?
Ma'am Ana?
Yes.
Yes, you may continue po.
Hindi, for the workshop, how do we go about it? Kasi pwede na tayo mag-workshop.
Miss Melo?
Sir Jeff, would you please kindly assist regarding the workshop?
Okay, can I just make the intro and then stop my sharing of the
Oh,
screen?
sure po.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
sige. Okay. So as I've said, what we do today is the heritage of tomorrow. So we now proceed to the workshop so that you also have, a grasp of what I'm talking about. And I presume that you have been informed that there are materials needed for today's workshop. Now I prepared 2 designs just to give you the inspiration of pattern 1, which is for BTS Army. There's the heart, of course, the heart. And then the piano. Piano is the most basic. The BTS released piano versions of their songs. They released an anthology. And then the logos of Army and BTS. And of course, the finger heart and the G clef, which is prominent in the tattoo of JK. So that's pattern 1. For pattern 2, it's the individual BTS elements. So piano is for Suga. He even made a song out of his first love, which is the piano. And then 7 of Jungkook, the album. And then we have the book associated with RM. And then a star for Jin. If you take a look at this album, there are elements of stars there. And then another type of star for J-Hope. That's on the A portion. And then saxophone is associated with V. And the last one is ribbon, the fluidity of Jimin's dance. So these are the 2 patterns that I prepared for exclusively for today's workshop. So yun.
For the participants, please turn on your cameras so that you can follow the instructions of Miss Anna.
Okay, let me just convert my video?
Again, for the participants, may we request you to please turn on your cams so that you can follow. While you're following that, we can see what you're doing as well. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yan. As I've said, I prepared two patterns, pattern 1 and 2. So you may choose which pattern you would want to use. Okay. And then, of course, you'll be needing your cuticle scissor. You need pencil to trace the pattern and the Japanese paper. For the Japanese paper, I already have a pre-cut, but just to show you how it's done, so you need one whole sheet of Japanese paper, but you only need 1/8 for one pabalat. So just cut it. Kunwari, kinakat ko na lang, ha? So you only need this size, 1/4. Okay? And from the 1/4, this is the 1/4, fold it once, twice, and twice, 3 times. And make sure that the flap is on the outer part, because this is where you will insert the pattern so you can trace it. So I don't know if you can follow me. You're still cutting the Japanese paper. Wait, let me see what you're doing. So again, you just need 1/4 of the Japanese paper and then fold it in 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 times. And then choose either pattern 1 or 2 and then insert it on the flap. But for today's presentation, because this will take time, no, in cutting, because I just want to show you the techniques in cutting. I'll just use this. This is the simplest one, which I did for Art Center of the Philippines. So once it's inserted, you just have to trace it. Well, for everybody's information, Cha was my former student and now a friend, a colleague friend. And Jeff was my classmate in Teacher's Certificate Program. That's how we were linked. Ayan. So I was able to trace it. But make sure that once you're done tracing, please remove the pattern. Kasi pag nakat nyo yung pattern, wala na. So this is now the Japanese paper. So we will start with the cutting. Now I'll teach you the techniques in cutting. The rule of thumb in cutting. When we do the cutting, we start at the center, going outwards. No? And choose the smaller parts to be cut out first. We always start with the smaller parts. So gaya nito, it's the piano key, no, and these, no. So always start with the small parts. Here, it's just this and these. So we only have two inner parts, and I'll start with these two. Now the technique of Nanay Luz is that we use the tip of the cuticle scissor to bore a hole. But if you are not confident, in doing that, you might hurt yourself. I suggest you can also use a push pin. You just need an entry point for the cuticle scissor. And then that's why the cuticle scissor is curved so that it can follow the curvature of the design. So in this case, I will start with the O and with the V. Now take a look. This shape is this way. So hanapin mo sa cuticle scissor yung linya niya. And the technique here is that you cut a line on the edges so that it would be easier for you to navigate the paper. Okay. So I have now a bigger hole. No? So it's easier to cut.
Teacher,
I'll start.
question, huh? Teacher,
Yes.
how to trace it?
Oh,
The-
on the first flap, just insert the pattern
Okay.
and then trace it.
Okay.
So we can already cut this. I'll start with O. So once you're done with the first, you start with the second one. Okay, so I'm done with the inner parts. So what's left is the outer parts. And when we do the outer cutting, we start with the flat side. The last to be cut out is on the folded side because this will serve as the spine. Okay, so we'll start with the flap side from the bottom going up. That's the technique. We always start from the bottom going up. Because if we start from the topmost, gagalaw na siya, no? When we reach the bottom part.
Hello po,
Yes.
Miss Anna.
Yes,
We have
opo.
students asking po how they're
Sorry, wait.
supposed to how
Again?
they're supposed to fold the paper. Sorry.
Okay, sige, sige. I'll show you.
Thank you.
Were you able to cut it na, the Japanese papers? Paano ko ba aanhin itong? How can I pala use two devices? Because I cannot see the participants. I'm pinned, no? Okay. So again, you need a Japanese paper, right? So this is the full sheet of Japanese paper. We only need 1/4. So we only need 1/4. So 2 folds. You need 2 folds. So this is 1/2. Fold it again. Can you follow?
For the students, the one with the best output per class will win 100 peso GCash. So please turn on your cameras and show us your best work, and you will be evaluated whether your work is excellent, and you will win GCash, 100 pesos. This is only one per class.
Okay, so the one who was asking how to fold the paper, so this is now the 1/4 Japanese paper. So we need 3 folds. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so just check the flap should be the first thing, the first and the last flap. And then, and then on the first flap, insert the pattern and then trace it. Once you're done with the tracing, remove the pattern and start cutting. Identify the small parts first. So in this case, the small parts are these. This one, this, and this. So you start with those. For pattern 1, it would be this, mas marami sa pattern 1. Like that. And then after that, you identify now the next big patterns. So here, This is small pala. And I hope you can see it, no? The ones with straight lines are the first to be cut. The ones with X ones will follow after you're done with the smaller. And then the last one will be the outermost. So you may want to take a screenshot of this, no? So you'll have a guide. And once you're done with these patterns, this is how it should look. Nag-glare. Let me just remove it. Yan. Can you follow? Okay, so may I continue cutting this?
So again, let me announce for the winner of per class of the best output. The winner will receive 100 peso GCash plus an e-certificate. Thanks.
Can you follow? Are we good?
Hello, may I ask the students to switch on their cameras? Kindly focus your camera on the output that you are doing so that we can see that you're doing something. Thank you. We're seeing some have recently switched on their cameras, but that's just for the first panel. Now we're looking at the other panels. There are 7. Apparently, none of you are opening your cameras. Please switch on your camera so that we can see what you're doing. Professor Bautista, we have a question here from one of our students. Hello po. How do you start po on making holes in the middle? Can we just start partially folding it then cut?
Okay, so once you're done with the tracing, okay, in this case, wait, let me just get the pattern. Iha, what did you use? Pattern 1 or 2?
What pattern are you using, Christelle? Is it pattern 1 or 2?
Pattern 2,
daw po.
okay. For pattern 2, you can either use the tip of your cuticle scissor or any sharp object to bore a hole. So you can start with those small portions, no? Like this. The piano keys, ito, gitna ng star. From the book side, no? And dito sa star. So to start off, you just need, again, the tip of the cuticle scissor to bore a hole. So parang gaganyanin mo lang. You just need an entry point for the cuticle scissor. Or you can use a push pin or any sharp pointed object so you can bore a hole. And then from there, you can already start cutting. Ayan. Did you get it, Miss Driss?
Yes, Miss. Thank you po.
You may want to take a screenshot of this so that you would know what to cut out first. For those who use pattern 2, this is the guide. For pattern 1, ito naman. So you start with the lines, followed by the X, and then by the O's. If in case you get interested to do Pabalat for Christmas, these are some patterns that I've done. This is my Pasko series. Well, you can use Exacto or Cutter, but it's hard to navigate curves. So just be careful. Unlike if it's cuticle scissors, it's easier to cut the curved portion. So let me just show you the finished output. So this is what I did. And once you're done, don't open it if you won't use it yet. Otherwise, it will be hard to put it back together. So in this case, since this is the sampler, if you spread it out, it will yield 8 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And to wrap up the Pabalat, you need 2 units. So just, cut this out. So if you need to wrap the Pabalat, you need 2 units. And I have a sample here. Walang laman yan. And then just push it. And there goes your Pabalat.
Okay, for the interest of time, let's take a moment to express our appreciation. Can we have a virtual round of applause for our wonderful speakers? Thank you. Our sincere gratitude goes out to our esteemed speakers who have shared their knowledge, insights, and passion for art and culture inspired by BTS. Each speaker brought a unique perspective, contributing to the richness of our discussions and leaving us with valuable takeaways. Thank you, Ms. Charmaine Salido and Ms. Ana Marie Bautista, for your enlightening presentations and engaging discussions. Your contributions have made Pabalat 2.0 an enlightening and memorable experience. So please take note, students. The evaluation form on the chat box. Please kindly answer this. Click the link of the evaluation form. To award the certificate of our guest speakers, may I call on Miss Ivory Shasan.
Hi, good afternoon. I am honored to present the certificates of appreciation to our distinguished speakers, who are definitely both artistic achievers and, of course, BTS lovers. Allow me to read the certificate of appreciation. Sir AJ, may we have the copy of the certificates? It's in the next slide. Thank you. De La Salle College of St. Benilde, Manila, Philippines, School of Multidisciplinary Studies, awards this certificate of appreciation to Ms. Ana Marie H. Bautista and to Ms. Charmaine G. Salido in grateful acknowledgement of their expertise and professional competence shared during the SMS English area webinar on art appreciation, ARTAPRI, titled Pabalat 2.0, a BTS-themed online workshop on 17 November 2023, signed by Ms. Ellie May N. de los Santos, OIC Chairperson, SMS Communication and Literature Area, and Dr. Basilia E. Blay, Dean, School of Multidisciplinary Studies. Congratulations! Miss Melody, the floor is now yours again.
Okay, congratulations to both of our resource speakers, Ms. Anna and Ms. Charmaine. Thank you. Please
Thank you.
Please receive our certificate of appreciation. So Before we end, do you have any questions, students? Would you like to share some insights, questions, thoughts? You can
Miss Mello, may I
type your...
announce something?
Sure.
Yes po. Those who have outputs to show, kindly show it to us later so that we can provide an e-certificate for you. So those who worked on it or on the Pabalat today, show us your Pabalat later and we will provide you with an e-certificate for your participation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You heard that, students. And thank you. There is a comment here by Christelle Driss. It was fun po. Okay, thanks for that comment.
Wow, thank you. I hope it was therapeutic.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Yes, it was very therapeutic. To offer some final thoughts and officially close our event, we will call someone who has been a guiding force behind the scenes, ensuring that every aspect of today's event has been thoughtfully curated for your learning and enjoyment. Let's listen to Mr. Oliver of Russia to share his closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Miss Melo. Before I read my short speech here, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to our chairperson, who should be, I mean, she's currently on leave this term, but she's very helpful in making this event successful. Shout out to Miss Jocas, Professor Jocelyn Castro, who is present or who is with us today watching this event. Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank our resource speakers, artist Ms. Charmaine Salido, and interior designer as well as educator from the University of Santo Tomas, Professor Ana Marie Bautista. To give everyone a bit of perspective about what we're having today, this is our second Pabalat, so Pabalat 2.0. We had Pabalat 1.0 way back in 2021 during the pandemic. In that specific event, which was done online also, we learned about the importance of preserving our unique culture through the arts. In Pabalat 2.0, we've experienced an update, this time with the inclusion of contemporary art and artists like BTS. So we would like to thank Ms. Charmaine Salido for introducing us to synesthesia and chromesthesia. Is that correct, ma'am, miss?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We've learned these two things firsthand and how our perceptions and our minds can work in ways that are very unique. Like what Professor Bautista said, what we do today is the heritage of tomorrow. So thank you very much. May I ask everyone to give our speakers a big round of applause, please. Thank you very much. Before we end second, I'd like to thank my colleagues in the communication literature area. I'd like to thank Professor Jeff Akala, who has invited our mainstay na rin to si Professor Bautista, and hopefully Miss Charmaine too, in our regular series of webinars. Thank you very much. To our OIC chairperson, who's been very helpful, and ating kasangga sa lahat ng activity, Professor Ellie May and de Los Santos. A round of applause, please. Thank you very much to our MC, Professor Melody Al-Amrey. And to those who are behind the scenes, Miss Ira, Professor AJ, si Ms. Zaira, Professor Oli, those Miss Ivory who created and Sir Och who helped prepare our certificates. Miss before I forget, we would also like to thank Professor Escamillas for the attendance link, Professor Chanson for the evaluation link, and Professor Winma for creating our publication materials. Have I missed anyone? Sino pa po ba? Again, thank you very much. We hope this is not the last time that we're having this. And we thank our students who have actively participated. Yes, Miss Oning po, Mrs. Oning, Professor Zaira Vivian Manila Oning. BTS din po sila behind the scenes, working on the background music together with Sir AJ. So we thank our students, especially those who have actively participated today, and hopefully we see your output so that we can choose the best of the best. Thank you very much. Announcement po, Miss May.
Yeah, just like what I announced a while ago, we'd like them to show their outputs later as soon as they're done. And then the subject teachers, please take note of the names of your students who have an output for today. And then please forward it to Miss Ira so that we can issue them an e-certificate. Thank you po.
With that, we have come to the end of Pabalat 2.0, a BTS-themed online workshop. We hope you leave here with new insights, inspiration, and connections. On behalf of the Communication and Literature area, thank you once again for being part of this enriching experience. We look forward to seeing you in future events. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and have a wonderful day. Heart, heart.
Where to send the picture of our work?
Send the picture to your teachers.
Teacher.
Okay? Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Miss Mello.
Thank you. We can leave the room now.
Thank you.
Miss-
Thank you so
Miss
much.
Mel?
Thank you so much.
Miss Mel?
Yes po, Miss Ira.
Required po ba mag-submit ng output or hindi naman po?
Yes. Required. That is part of your grade. Okay?
Yan po, sige po. Thank you po.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po, Miss Anna and Miss Cha. Thank you, participants.